Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Donor fatigue is a well-known problem that we have in this area. When Haiti suffered their catastrophic event in 2010, $3 billion of aid went in. 1.1 billion of it came from the United States. But by 2014, Haiti was down to a level of aid that was lower than 2009, the year before the catastrophe. Almost like out of sight, out of mind, forgetting it. So obviously that's a real challenge for us, because the fierce urgency of now gets replaced by something that then draws people attention away and it gets forgotten. Mr. Macnee, you have testified that private sector development partnerships require shared values that help companies build their brands within recipient companies and create new markets for their products. Could you talk about that in terms of the private sector contributions to a country, to its development, if that market doesn't develop the way in which the private sector company had been anticipating that it would?
Yeah, I mean, it's our hope that we can be part of the impetus for development. In Haiti, when the aid was being delivered, we learned a lot in Haiti. The electronic or digital aid was being delivered a week faster than the more traditional in-kind aid. What's important to us is that we work on long-term economic models so that you shift from humanitarian aid to development. I mean, there's a border there. There's a blurry, it should be a blurred border. And so just fixing a problem and then leaving is really not what any of us want to do.
So are there risks in measuring success by whether or not there has been a private sector development that the companies that had philanthropic groups had been expecting that didn't occur, and therefore the country is in a situation where in Haiti is a good example, where there is a kind of an abandonment that has taken place. The United Nations doesn't provide the funding that it had promised today to deal with the aftermath of the epidemic that broke out and the investment in the infrastructure. And at the same time, that then has an impact on the private sector that is thinking about moving into that community. So can you talk a little bit about that interaction?
Certainly. So our approach to humanitarian and development programs is essentially our approach to business. So what we're trying to do is apply our capabilities, our assets, our technologies to the humanitarian and development issues, but we're using the same logic, the same calculus that we do in business. So we're taking a long-term view. I think I understand your question.
Is there something that Congress can do to incentivize companies to move into areas that may not pay back a huge immediate dividend, may not pay back a dividend at all, but that perhaps Congress could create an atmosphere that is welcoming to your investments, encouraging your investment in a country that needs that private sector? Mr. Goltzman.
I would just add, look, we are present in more than 200 countries and territories. We are invested in all of them for the long term. It's not about is the economic development this year sufficient, and if it's not, then we're looking to reduce our presence. We are there for the very long term. And like my colleague from Mastercard or Starbucks, we are investing in projects that are very long-term. It's different than trying to respond to the immediate aftermath of the earthquake. And when we did that in partnership with USAID on an initiative called Haiti Hope, it was investing to help Haitian mango farmers, and they are now more productive and shipping those mangoes to the U.S. and for sale in Whole Foods. So I think the ability of U.S. agencies to have matching funds is an incentive for private sector actors to actually go in and develop partnerships that we can work together on.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank Starbucks and Coca-Cola for their advocacy on climate change. I think it's very, very important. We've been told, the Washington Post reported that the administration has been advised to pull out of the Paris Agreement, and I think that would be a terrible thing, but it's good to know that they are private sector companies are stepping up and saying that it is an important issue for us to have to deal with. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.